New.
Good evening and welcome to your Wednesday edition of What's New. I'm Laura Caso.
And I'm Isabel Lawrence. Betsy and Jay are off this evening. And Laura, welcome back after a little Christmas break.
I know, it was nice. First Christmas with baby Jackson. So it was just that much sweeter, so much sweeter. So it was great, but happy to be back. How was your holiday? You really, we need to give you a round of applause because you think Matt wins too. You really killed it here. Such a good job all week.
Oh my gosh.
And I know everybody at home thinks so too. So we're lucky to have you. Welcome.
you.
I guess this is my welcome to you.
I know.
Even though you've been here for some time, but welcome.
Yeah.
I met her before she arrived, but
She may or may not,
official.
yeah, may or may not have been one of the reasons that I was so tempted
Loved
by
her.
Cleveland.
Loved
here.
her.
Wonderful. Well, wonderful to be back with you, Laura, and to be
Yes.
working alongside you here.
Oh, thanks.
All right, so let's begin tonight with another troubling milestone in the coronavirus pandemic. The United States has recorded over 53 million total cases. So far, more than 823,000 Americans have died from COVID.
In Ohio, the state health department today reported 20,320 new COVID cases. That is nearly double the state's 3-week average. And hospitalizations have also skyrocketed here. We're talking 592 new people being admitted across the state. And because of this surge, Governor Mike DeWine has ordered an additional 1,250 National Guard members to help at the state's hospitals. Emma Henderson joins us now from the newsroom. And Emma, the governor said that we have more people in the hospital with COVID, get this, than we've ever had any other time in this pandemic. So with that said, for hospitals, not only do they want help, but it's really needed, right, Emma?
It's absolutely needed. Dr. Wiley with the Cleveland Clinic says 2,700 healthcare workers are out today throughout their system, largely due to COVID. This is the most they've seen throughout the entire pandemic. And while those workers are out, ICUs and ERs are completely full. I spoke to a doctor working in an intensive care unit today who said they have 5 ICU patients waiting in their emergency room until beds open up. And that's just in his building. Northeast Ohio is already facing the highest number of COVID cases in the state, and workers are being run ragged.
The first word that comes to mind when I describe the scene in the hospital right now is just gruesome. We are just seeing such high volumes of severe illness, suffering, death, family grieving, and just hospitals, at capacities that we've never seen before.
The Cuyahoga County Health Commissioner believes this is all happening while we still haven't reached our area's peak in this surge. He anticipates that in early January. Now, coming up at 6, we'll be digging into more details on the National Guard deployment and what our hospitals are up against. Laura?
And we know they are up against so much as we continue to fight this pandemic. Emma, thanks so much.
Also new tonight, the Cleveland Metropolitan School District announced that its schools will resume remote learning in January. This, of course, comes as COVID cases continue to spread across the region. Classes resume next week, and students and their parents can pick up any school materials on Monday to learn from home.
More COVID-19 drive-through testing today as thousands showed up to the Lake County Fairgrounds in Paynesville. About 2,000 rapid antigen tests were available, but officials had to shut down the line early because the turnout was just that overwhelming. The county sheriff's office announced the planned closure just before 11:30 this morning, more than 3 hours before the pop-up clinic was scheduled to close.
The FDA is warning that rapid antigen tests may not detect the highly contagious Omicron variant. A new study by researchers at the National Institutes of Health found the tests may be less sensitive in detecting the variant immediately after being infected. The agency still stands behind the use of the tests and says if you are having symptoms but test negative with a rapid test, seek out a PCR test just to be sure. And you can text the word test to 216-344-3300. That number's here on your screen. We will send our complete guide to COVID-19 testing locations, appointments, and at-home kits right to your phone.
Well, this holiday season is a reminder that the pandemic is still affecting our plans. But local businesses are finding some creative ways to adapt, right? Our Lindsay Buckingham joins us live now to explain. Hi, Lindsay.
Hi there, Laura. From adding safety protocols to moving celebrations virtually, local spots are finding ways to make it work for New Year's Eve. It's been a long time since experiencing the ball drop seemed normal. Some events canceled this year, but here in the Flats East Bank and downtown, several New Year's events are still on. The Tangier Event Center in Akron says they're cutting the guest list to stay safe, while Wine Bar Flight Cleveland is taking its party online.
Typically, we sell about 800 tickets. This year, we're capping it at 550. So we have the option with the other space that if you want more space and to be more social distance, you have that option.
We're going to hop on there. We're going to taste through all the wines. We're going to play a few games, and we're going to just have a fun little way to start everyone's New Year's.
And there's safe options for families, too. The Cleveland Museum of Natural History is hosting its New Year's at Noon dinosaur drop virtually for the second year in a row. And there's good news here. Some of those events we just mentioned still have spots open. So if you're still looking for options for New Year's Eve, we've got all the information posted for you on WKYC.com. Laura?
All right, some great options, some creative options. I still can't believe it's almost 2022. Crazy to say, right?
I can't either. It went by so fast, but we'll enjoy it, right?
We will. Lindsay, thanks so much. Well, speaking of the holiday, New Year's, a lot of travel, right, for so many people, but this is an absolute travel nightmare for some. It kicked off this weekend. It's now creeping into the middle of the week. Yesterday, more than 1,100 U.S. flights were canceled, with thousands more delayed. Delta Airlines says employees are working around the clock to reroute and substitute aircraft and crews, citing winter weather and Omicron for the problems.
We've been in an airport since about 7:30 this morning.
We're actually on the plane
At the gate
for 2.5 hours.
If your flight has been disrupted, we have some options for you. If you're already at the airport, get on the phone to talk to an airline representative. You might have to wait a while. If your flight is canceled, you can get on a later flight, or if you decide not to travel, you are entitled to a full refund under federal law.
Now on your feed at 5, nearly 1 week after that apartment garage collapsed in Lakewood, we're finally hearing the 911 calls. Mark Namick has been following the story since last Thursday when it happened at the Marine Tower West Apartments. And he joins us from the newsroom with more. Mark?
Hey, good afternoon. Right now, the multiple 911 calls offer insight into the initial chaos that followed the collapse and how seriously the city of Lakewood took those reports.
Are you at Marine Towers?
Yes, I'm at Marine Towers West.
Okay, everybody's on the way, okay?
Oh my God, okay, thank you.
Do we know, did you hear anything? Did you?
Yeah, we heard it. I thought it was the wind, and we got the garage, the floor came down.
Okay, do you know if anybody's inside the garage?
I don't know, I just called you. I don't.
Okay.
Hey, Lakewood, what we need to do at Marine Tower West, we need to get up out this building?
I don't know, sir. I got to get the fire department started. Get out of the building. Get out of the building then. Attention all companies, any Lakewood car and the entire fire department to 12540 Edgewater. Marine Towers West for a garage that just collapsed. Unknown if anybody's in it. And some people are saying they heard an explosion.
I was there shortly after the collapse, and Lakewood indeed mobilized a massive response that involved many suburban departments, special rescue squads, and heavy equipment. The investigation is looking into the collapse and whether or not repairs on the garage played a role.
All right, chilling to hear those 911 calls, Mark. Thank you.
We've talked a lot about shortages this year, but what's the outlook for 2022 and the ongoing supply chain crisis? Well, first, let's talk about coins. The U.S. Mint says right now there are plenty of coins in America, but there is still a shortage of coins in circulation. And that's because the pandemic, it's left many people reluctant to touch money. With gas, a gallon is more than $1 high now than it was this time last year. And with more Americans on the roads now than really at any point during the pandemic, experts say expect continuing to pay more.
The consumer should get used to paying in excess of $3 a gallon as economies around the world continue to recover and demand increases.
Another supply chain shortage impacting all others, computer chips. And that's slowing production of new cars, clothes dryers, even those electric toothbrushes.
Well, you could be entering 2022 as a millionaire. That sounds nice. The Powerball jackpot is now sitting at an estimated $441 million with a cash option of around $317 million. Not too bad. It's been nearly 3 months since somebody won the last Powerball. That's 36 drawings. That jackpot was just under $700 million. The drawing is tonight at 11. So good luck to you if you are playing, and maybe share if you win.
Oh yeah, please.
All right, coming up, jumpstart your resolutions. If the new year has you hoping for change, we've got the tips to help you get started now in today's Wellness Wednesday segment.
And the trailer for season 2 of Cheer is out. We have all the details from Netflix ahead on your pop break. And Matt wins, also a man with some great information for parents. He's here with the peek of the forecast.
Yeah, and parenting tips as well. Just kidding, we're no pros. I tell you what, it is murky outside once again. I think the sun is going to rise at some point in the next couple days. It feels like we haven't seen it in a while. Your get outside forecast for this evening, well, we're going to be dealing with some scattered rain. The rain not going to be the biggest deal. It's really the fog. It's laying on thick across a good portion of the area. Not everyone's seeing it. Well, let's walk you through what that forecast looks like tonight. And there is some snow and there's some cold. Finally, in the forecast, whether you like it or not. Live look, CSU cam right now. Dense fog shrouding those buildings downtown. We'll be back coming up.
Welcome back. It is Wellness Wednesday here on What's New. And as we wrap up the holiday season, that may mean a spirited beverage or 2 or maybe even 3. But new information from doctors say alcohol can really damage a good night's sleep. Even though it is a sedative, it shouldn't be used as a sleep aid.
The effects of the acute withdrawal effects of the alcohol, it creates more fragmentation, more disruption of your sleep in the latter portion of the night.
The effects of alcohol can prevent you from entering the deepest, most restful stage of sleep. Dr. Leibowitz suggests you give your body time after having a few drinks to let your body process the alcohol before going to bed. The more you've had to drink, the longer you should wait. And it's also almost New Year's resolution time, so we want to help you get a jump start on yours.
Yeah, one of the biggest resolutions we know every year is people wanting to get healthy and lose weight. I know every year I say I'm going to eat cleaner, be healthy, every year. But Maureen Kyle is here to help us out and show us some of the trends that could actually work for you.
To know where to start to change your overall health, it's important to know what's changing health and wellness on a bigger scale.
It's historically been a lot of the same, which is I want to lose weight, I want to get more fit. This past year, I've seen a lot of targeted diets. So instead of people just saying, I want to lose weight, you now have a bunch of people saying, you know, I want to support my immune system and focusing on diets that do that. Or I want to work on my brain health.
Alexis Supan, the nutritional lead at Cleveland Clinic's Wellness Center, says she's also seeing diets centered around clearer skin, too. So let's put a name to these food habits to give you a better idea of what might work for you.
The Mind diet is a really popular one that sort of blends together the Mediterranean diet and the DASH diet, and it's focused a lot on brain health. That's catching a lot of steam. Intermittent fasting and keto are definitely here to stay in terms of tools to help with weight loss.
Another big trend you might consider trying, seafood. Not only is it healthy, but Supan makes the point that it's not really affected by supply chain issues due to a lower demand for it, so it's more readily available.
And that was Maureen Kyle reporting for us. When it comes to physical health, at-home workouts are popular now since COVID. Think Peloton, right? And if you need help with your fitness journey, apps like Noom help you track along the way. The clinic even offers an e-coaching program via email for people on the go. Some good stuff there.
Yeah. Ooh, take a look at this.
I know. We were warned by our director, and you were right, Matt. Matt, the director, also Matt Wentz. That's confusing. But wow, look at that fog right there.
Barely see it.
Exactly.
Because it's foggy. Yeah, right.
It's actually supposed to be, what, the downtown
Yeah, somewhere in there. Yeah, we can draw it. We'll draw it on there with something. Yeah, guys, it's been, I just want to bring positive news to forecast. This has been so gloomy recently. I mean, let's be honest. It's just been kind of cruddy, and, you know, we're in that in-between week where it's like coming down from the holidays and we're getting ready to start a new year. I hope everyone's doing all right. I mean, if we have to think positivity, we're gaining daylight every day, right? Our sunset time is getting later, and eventually we're going to break out of these clouds. But, you know, it just doesn't, I don't see it in the forecast. It's so tough to do this time of year. We've got the dense fog out there this evening once again, and that's usually when the temperature and the dew point reach each other, right? When they're equal, you have the 100% saturation there, that equals the fog, and that's what we've got in spots. Look at the low visibility in Mansfield down to a mild 2.6 downtown. May beg to differ looking at that CSU cam, but you can see some spotty fog elsewhere. We've got clear visibility as you get down towards the south. Live look via our ODOT cams. You can see some of these cams. Medina, some reduced visibility. Cuyahoga Falls as well. And then towards Brook Park, just kind of a murky rush hour out there this evening. And that will continue to be the case. I had to really crank the radar. If I would have shown the plane radar with the lower values on there, we wouldn't have had anything on there. But this is where the drizzle is, picking up some downtown. Couple little waves of that moving through. That's all we're going to encounter throughout the evening. Tonight, we're going to turn to some on and off light rain with this system moving through. This is that weak one that I was talking about. It's got a little bit more steam with it. You can see some of the rain developing areas of southern Illinois, turns to snow up towards Chicago. Severe weather event expected Tennessee, areas of northern Alabama, Tennessee from this, perhaps some tornadoes tonight from that. That's where the warm, steamy air is. Look at the temperatures down to the south. This is 70 and 80 degree air. It continues to be mild down there. For us, we're right in between, so we'll likely have some rain, maybe mixing with snow tonight. I don't see it being a really big deal. I don't think any accumulations out of it, but just incredible what's happening in the country right now. 81 in Jackson, 9 degrees in Minneapolis. Look at that difference between north and south. In between is where you have the train tracks. That's where we are, right in between. So we get these storm systems that come through. Eventually this weekend, that's all going to switch. So let's take you through the National Designer hour-by-hour forecast. Murky tonight. We'll have the fog around. Periodic rain moves in as that system kind of floats through. That's how we'll start our day tomorrow. Clouds will hang tough tomorrow. I think a degree or two warmer than today. So pretty similar day. A little bit warmer, though. Should make it up into the 40s. You notice by tomorrow night, we're still still dealing with just some on and off again drizzle and some showers. Friday, this is New Year's Eve day, right? We start with some showers around. Eventually, we'll kind of clear things out a little bit and bring more showers back in later at night. In terms of snowfall, we haven't had much. Cleveland, so far, 4.6 inches. Do you know Seattle, Washington has had more snow than we have in Cleveland, at least so far this year, and that's rare. They average 1.8 inches, at least through this time out towards the west. But we're going to change things. Big system for New Year's Day. You see this system still coming in with the rain on New Year's Day. We turn sharply colder. I think we get some real decent accumulating snow Sunday. We'll talk more about this in the next half hour, but this will lead a pattern change and may have a much snowier week next week. Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast, 50s Friday and Saturday. There's your temp drop on Sunday and much colder by the time Monday rolls around. Isabel.
Ooh, all right. Maybe the snow is on its way for 2022, Matt. Thank you so much. Well, next on What's New, one actress and mom is opening up about her struggles with alopecia. We'll tell you what she says in a candid Instagram video coming up in your Pop Break.
And learning to shake. The struggle is real for this dog dad, but his other pup has it down to a T. The full video you do not want to miss. Trust me, it's ahead in our Worth the Watch.
Hey Matt, we're all talking about insecurities that we may or may not have and how Jada Pinkett Smith
Welcome back. It is time to take a pop break.
We're talking new music from country star Miranda Lambert, a new trailer for a hit Netflix show. Looking forward to that. And one actress is speaking out on a personal battle. Kiara Cotton joins us now from the newsroom with all of those headlines. Kiara.
Hi, Isabel and Laura. Most people, you know, we may have an insecurity or two, but one thing we can learn from Jada Pinkett Smith is to not let them get the best of us. The actress and mom recently opened up about her struggles with alopecia, an autoimmune disease that causes hair loss and bald spots. In a candid video posted to her Instagram, Jada jokes about a new bald line on her head and how she plans to decorate it with rhinestones and make it a crown since it'll be too hard to hide. She captioned the video, "Me and this alopecia are going to be friends, period." She wrote with a laughing emoji. And the men and women of Navarro Cheer are back. Yesterday, Netflix released the official trailer for season 2 of Cheer, and competition and drama are in abundance. Led by head coach Monica Aldama, the show follows the Texas Community College and their rival on their journey to a national competition in Florida. And it's far from easy. This season tackles how COVID ruined the 2020 season and how serious criminal charges against one of their own impacted the team. Cheer, season 2 will be available on the streaming platform January 12th. And the queen of country music is showing her support for the LGBTQ+ community. Miranda Lambert is surprising fans with a new song, Y'all Means All, celebrating season 6 of the Netflix hit show Queer Eye. The Texas native took to Twitter to promote the song and the series ahead of both being released on Friday. The upcoming season of the Makeover show was filmed entirely in Lambert's home state of Texas. Queer Eye and Y'all Means All will be available on streaming this Friday. And from Nightbird's journey on America's Got Talent to Cedar Point updates, there was certainly enough entertainment to go around this year. And we have a list of the top entertainment stories up now on WKYC.com. Laura and Isabel.
All right, thanks so much. And can we talk about Nightbird? Remember her? She hit me. I think I watched her clip. If you haven't seen it, Google Nightbird, America's Got Talent.
We've got it up all on the website.
WKYC, what am I saying? But it hit me, and if you haven't seen it, it's definitely worth the watch.
Oh yeah, chills. I mean,
Amazing.
You tear up watching her. It's so emotional. So absolutely would watch that one.
Kara, thanks.
Sure thing.
Speaking of worth the watch, you've heard the saying, right? You can't teach an old dog new tricks. However, you can keep tricks stuck in their mind, apparently. This dad dog owner is trying to teach his puppy how to shake. And you see behind them, the older pup is just casually giving his paw. There he goes. Giving his paw. Too bad the puppy can't see his bud's cooperation to get some guidance. So cute.
Oh my gosh. Well, very well-trained older brother dog there.
Apparently, yeah. Maybe he could teach the youngin' eventually. He'll get it. Look at him.
Right. He's like, buddy,
come on, buddy. This is all you have to do.
Yeah.
So cute.
Oh.
All right, coming up in the next half hour on What's New, a look back at 2021 and the toll the COVID pandemic has had on all of us. We'll share some of the biggest and heart-wrenching moments.
Plus, from a star basketball player to a renowned author and even one of Channel 3's own, how people gathered together to make sure a group of local kids had a very Merry Christmas this year.
And later, updates to Amazon's Alexa, what the voice assistant allegedly said to a child, causing the tech giant to change some of its policies.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Here are 3 things to know now at 5:30. Governor Mike DeWine has started the process to deploy an additional 1,250 National Guards members to hospitals across the state. This is to help with the surge in COVID patients. Right here in Northeast Ohio, we already have 460 deployed. You can see them helping out at a mass testing facility, that is. The new round of Guardsmen will be deployed based off of need. So we can expect more headed our way as ICUs are full and intensive care patients are being held in the emergency rooms until beds open up.
Thousands of people showed up to the Lake County Fairgrounds in Paynesville today for a free COVID test, but some were turned away. About 2,000 rapid antigen tests were available, but officials had to shut down the line early due to the overwhelming turnout. The county sheriff's office announced the plant closure just before 11:30 this morning, more than 3 hours before the pop-up clinic was scheduled to close.
And you could be entering 2022 as a millionaire. Wouldn't that be nice? The Powerball jackpot is now sitting at an estimated $441 million with a cash option of around $317 million. It's been nearly 3 months since somebody won the Powerball jackpot. That was for just under $700 million. That drawing is tonight at 11. We wish you good luck, and if you win, call me. All right, and with that, we welcome you back to the second half hour of What's New. I'm Laura Caso.
I'm Isabel Lawrence, and please call me too.
Call us both.
Yeah,
please.
We're very fun. We'll host a dinner party or something.
Yeah,
and
we'll do
whatever.
Whatever we need, whatever you need.
There you go.
All right, Isabel, now to our top talker. Even though the coronavirus has dominated headlines for nearly 2 years now, of course, it remains top of mind.
Yeah, from vaccinations to new variants, 2021 has been a bit of a harrowing year in the battle to control and contain the pandemic, and it's not over just yet. So let's take a look back at the COVID headlines of 2021.
A grim new national record. More than 4,000 COVID deaths reported in a single day. Hospitals are facing a crisis of epic proportions.
100 million shots in our first 100 days in office. We're on day 1.
With full FDA approval, Johnson's vaccine will become the third to go into Americans' arms. The third vaccine in the pandemic arsenal.
Get vaccinated. The vaccine that's available to you, get that vaccine.
All adult Americans will be eligible to get a vaccine no later than May 1.
In New York City, where people getting vaccinated are now able to enjoy some live music in the same space that served as a field hospital just a few short months ago.
A tragic milestone in the battle against the coronavirus. Actually, this is globally. The death toll has now topped a staggering 3 million people. More than 570,000 Americans have lost their lives to the coronavirus. That's nearly 20% of the worldwide total.
With less than a third of the country fully vaccinated. Right now, some states are starting to turn down government shipments due to lack of demand.
New CDC data shows 8% of people have missed their second shot of the Moderna or Pfizer vaccines.
Our goal by July 4th is to have 70% of adult Americans with at least one shot.
Pfizer's emergency use authorization now clears the way for 17 million children to immediately get vaccinated. Kids 12 to 15 years old, mostly middle and high school students, now qualify.
If you get the shot, you basically can ditch the mask nearly everywhere, the CDC says.
America is already on the pandemic rebound. New COVID cases at their lowest level since last June.
Last year we lost the summer because of COVID, so this year it's going to be a big summer.
The Delta variant, first discovered in India, could soon become the dominant COVID strain in the U.S. So far, only about 53% of the country is partially vaccinated. But some states are barely hitting a third of their population.
67% of U.S. adults have received at least one dose. That's short of the president's goal of 70%.
Give you the best chance possible.
A year ago, the COVID ICU at Lexington Medical Center was pushed to the brink. This week, doctors say it's feeling like deja vu.
Tonight, the alarming Delta variant surge. The U.S. now seeing more daily COVID cases than last summer's peak.
The plan is for every adult to get a booster shot 8 months after you got your second shot.
A moving new memorial that provides a vivid reminder of the devastation of the coronavirus pandemic. More than 670,000 white flags are planted along the National Mall, each one symbolizing an American life lost to the coronavirus.
Authorized by the FDA late today, booster shots for adults fully vaccinated with Moderna and Johnson & Johnson could be days away.
They all reached the same conclusion about vaccine mandates.
I didn't have much of a choice in the matter, that I was being forced to do something, to put something into my body.
I felt that what they were doing, what they have done, is they've basically held for ransom your health insurance, your benefits, your livelihood, your career in some cases.
Some promising news, of course, this afternoon, authorizing Pfizer's vaccine for 5 to 11-year-olds. This is a huge step forward, obviously.
The FDA just signed off on Pfizer and Moderna's vaccine booster for all adults 18 and older.
President Biden is set to speak to the nation next hour about the Omicron variant as questions remain about the seriousness of the threat.
What is it about this variant that worries you?
What we've seen is this kind of very rapid rise in infections. And we've seen that in a part of the country, in a population where we thought that people had a lot of immunity. And the fact that this virus is now spreading so rapidly and so easily, it seems, it's a highly transmissible variant, but also that it may well be able to better get around some of the levels of our immune protection.
The CDC says the first confirmed case in the U.S. of the Omicron variant has appeared now in San Francisco.
Hitting this other terrible milestone in the U.S. You see it here. 800,000 deaths in this country.
And that was a look back at NBC News' coverage of the ongoing COVID pandemic this past year. Coverage that will continue, unfortunately, Laura, now into 2022.
It's hard to think about where we were then, where we were now. It seems like much of the same. You know, at the start of the pandemic, I decided to go out and put faces to these cases, and we spoke with so many people who are affected, and so many people continue to be affected today, and it's kind of hard to digest.
Yeah.
However, for all of those who have lost loved ones and who are sick or who have long COVID, there are so many people who had COVID and we know survived and are here to tell their stories. But it's much of the same in a way, and it's hard. It's a hard reality.
Yeah, it can definitely feel disheartening when we've all kind of trudged through the past 2 years, it feels at times. But I think one thing to kind of treat as a silver lining is that we know a lot more now. So hopefully we have more tools in our tool belts. I know the doctors have been referencing, you know, our arsenal of tools now. So the shots and the boosters and just the knowledge of this disease. So hopefully that provides a little bit of comfort in these really challenging times that still continue, to know that at least we have a little bit of a better idea of what it is we're dealing with here.
Well said. I couldn't have said it better myself. And I'm just hoping, obviously, this roller coaster ride that we've been on, hoping that we can kind of jump off soon and just have happiness and get-togethers and peace, and kind of like the old times. I think we all know COVID will be here for a long, long time, but because, like Isabel said, we know so much more, hopefully things will change and head back to normal soon.
Yeah, here's to a better 2022.
I wish we had some champagne flutes or
I know.
something for that.
Chin chin.
All right, we have to, though. Chin chin is right. We have to get to some breaking news right now that just came in. We just learned Ghislaine Maxwell has been convicted of helping lure teenage girls to be sexually abused by the late Jeffrey Epstein. That verdict was just announced. A New York City jury deliberated for 5 days before finding 6-year-old Maxwell guilty on 5 of the 6 charges. Maxwell faces up to 65 years in prison.
And still ahead here on What's New, what's better than 1 baby? How about 3? Identical triplet girls were born recently at Akron General Hospital, but their story only gets better. We will explain ahead in Clicking in Cleveland.
Plus, showing up to lend a helping hand and spread some holiday cheer too. How some local students at Charles Dickens Elementary were treated to some famous faces this season.
But first, Matt's got your weather in a, I never know if it's Jiffy or Giffy.
No one knows how to say it. It's okay. It's
Sorry. Either. No idea.
Different
no
every
idea.
time. But I think that's the whole point. It's totally fine. This is kind of what we feel like across Northeast Ohio, not just today, but over the last couple days. Ruh-roh Shaggy, we've got another foggy night out ahead of us. When will we see the sunshine? And what about that thing called snow this time of year? Is that in the forecast? It is. We've got it for you next.
Hi, mic check. Clicking in Cleveland, we're talking about babies and a retired judge.
New York's Times Square is almost ready to host the city's big New Year's Eve bash in just a couple of days. And today, organizers tested that confetti. Gravity did its job, and the test, it was a success, everyone. About 1.5 tons of confetti will fall on Times Square at the stroke of midnight, and that is a lot of confetti. We deserve it after the year we've had. Let's ring in 2022 in the right way.
Yeah.
Right, Matt?
And now they
Just
get to practice cleaning it all up.
I know, that's
a great
another
job.
part, but I didn't want to go there.
I know, we don't have to do it, but I know someone. I appreciate whoever clears that up. But
Me too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're going to ring in 2022. Laura, it seems like we haven't had winter yet. December, one of the least snowiest winters we've had in some time. And you know what? I think we're going to really change things in 2022 as well. Live Look CSU Cam, we're dealing with the fog, kind of a murky atmosphere once again. But as you see at the bottom there, several storm systems coming our way. One is going to be a pattern changer, and that arrives for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day and then thereafter. All right, I mentioned longer days within reach. I wanted to put some numbers on this. Next Wednesday, we're going to have 6 more minutes of daylight. The Wednesday after that, 12 more minutes of daylight. And look at that. 5 weeks from now, we'll have almost an hour more of daylight. Problem is, we need to be able to see that daylight, right? We haven't had that, at least over the last couple of days. We continue to lay on the fog. There are spots as you get away from downtown Cleveland, the lake, over towards Mansfield. There are spots down towards Dover, New Philly. You're not having visibility problems at all. Dealing with the clouds, we have had some scattered showers. But this fog's going to kind of come and go overnight tonight. Live Look via our ODOT cams. You can see a couple of our cameras downtown, even Medina, some reduced visibility. Just going to be one of those murky nights again. No travel problems whatsoever, though, in terms of snow snow or anything like that. We're going to remain cloudy. We'll have the fog tonight. Temperatures kind of flatline there, right near 40 degrees. So mild, right? No freezing roads to deal with or anything like that. You can see I really cranked up the radar, showing some of that drizzle moving through. And that will continue to be the case. Maybe get some light rain out of this overnight as this system approaches. It's a weak one. They've got severe weather down to the south. That's where the powerful part of this storm is. For us, we'll see some of this moisture come through. Rain, maybe a little bit of wet snow mixing in as well, as we're kind of right in between the cold air and the warm air. And speaking of contrast, look at this, 9 in Minneapolis, 81 down in Jackson. What a difference between north and south. For those flying for business, perhaps, you need to pack all sorts of things depending on where you're going. National Design Mart hour-by-hour forecast, not much doing tonight. Again, light rain, a little bit of snow mixing in, not anticipating any accumulations tonight. Tomorrow, very similar to today. We'll have a lot of clouds. We'll have some periodic rain and drizzle from time to time. And then perhaps, temperatures a degree or two warmer. So we'll give that to you, generally in the 40s. All right, let's talk the weekend. This is going to be the impactful storm system. There's our week one going by Thursday night, Friday. Here's what happens. Low pressure comes out of the Four Corners region. It'll be a strong, kind of elongated low pressure. We'll be on the warmer side of things. So if you have New Year's Eve plans, plan for rain. As of now, the latest model changes push back the heaviest rain. So I think we'll have showers around here for New Year's Eve. But Saturday's when we really start to get in the thick of things. We'll likely have decent rain around here. Temperatures will hold right near 50 degrees. Once this low goes by Saturday night, Sunday's the transition day. We'll probably start near 40 early Sunday morning. Temperatures are going to crash Sunday afternoon. So think about what you're doing Sunday. A lot of people traveling back to where they need to go to will likely have rain changing over to some pretty good snow depending on the track of this low. It's going to be sharply colder. We'll have some lake effect. It looks very snowy around here late Sunday. And then we have a colder scene next week with some up or down temperatures. In terms of snowfall, heaviest stays north of us. We get that lake involved, though, Sunday night. Could have some decent snow. And looking long-term, Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast, we have the big cool down Sunday into Monday, but then we bump up Tuesday, Wednesday out ahead of perhaps some more Arctic air that may have some staying power to it by the time next weekend gets around. Isabel.
All right, thank you, Matt. Well, time now to see what is clicking in Cleveland. And for that, we bring in our own digital anchor, Stephanie Haney. Hey, Stephanie.
Hi, Isabel. We're starting off with talking about a man who has several impressive careers behind him, and he's retiring from his latest role early this Friday. Here's Cuyahoga County Judge Dick Ambrose now. And coming up here, we have him 30-some years ago as a Cleveland Browns linebacker. He played for 10 years before retiring with injuries. One of his biggest cases as a judge was presiding over the conviction of serial killer Anthony Sowell in 2011. Now, Judge Ambrose says he's enjoyed every moment on the bench, and he's retiring early now to do it on his own terms, which he didn't get to do in the NFL. Now, for lack of a better phrase, this next story is truly shocking. What you're seeing here now about to come up is the aftermath of a dangerous TikTok challenge where kids are plugging in a phone charger about halfway into a wall outlet, then touching a penny to those exposed prongs. Well, an Amazon Alexa device reportedly suggested this so-called penny challenge to a 10-year-old in the UK when she asked for a challenge. Now, thankfully, she didn't do it, and Amazon says it's updated Alexa to make sure that it doesn't suggest that again. Yikes. Now, for triple the cuddles, triple the love, and triple the diapers, the Cleveland Clinic shared these photos of Parker, Robin, and Sylvie, who belong to new dads Eric and Kevin. This rare set of triplets was born via a surrogate, Maureen, at the Cleveland Clinic Akron General Hospital. They met through mutual friends and got very lucky with their very first round of IVF resulting in these cuties. Eric and Kevin live in Ann Arbor, and they say Maureen will be in their babies' lives as Auntie Mo. Now, they were born on September 9th, and this is truly rare, Laura and Isabel, because the doctor who delivered the babies say only about 3,100 triplets were born in 2019, so very rare. I'm sure they're very tired. I also love those little hot dog inspired costumes. It's like the Cleveland Guardians hot dogs, almost. We're just missing the onion.
There you go, little condiments and everything in
Adorable.
costumes. So sweet.
3 babies. That's a lot.
It's a handful.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? I mean, you've got the one.
I just got the one, and it's a
3
lot.
of them.
A lot of respect there.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Stephanie. Well, next on What's New, helping out students at Charles Dickens Elementary for the holidays. The cheer the local kids were brought this season, coming up.
Then reassembling history. How one local man brought back one Christmas memory for his grandchildren. That's ahead, and Show Us Something Good. Perhaps more than any other holiday, Christmas brings out the kid in all of us, right? But for children in need, the holidays can be a tough time.
Yeah, so all month long, famous folks and some everyday Joes came out to bring a little Christmas cheer to our kids at Dickens Elementary. January Keaton has more.
Favorite color is royal blue.
3 News continues its partnership with Charles Dickens Elementary in Cleveland as students work to improve their reading. And during December, we did our best to shower the kids with special experiences. An author and also a basketball player brought their own special love of literacy to the kids in time for Christmas.
Around your back.
Harlem Globetrotter Zeus McClurkin stopped by Dickens before holiday break, showing the kids his fancy dribbling and trick shots and sneaking a book into the school's little free library. McClurkin recorded a PSA about the importance of reading.
I'm here today to tell you guys that reading is so fundamental and it's very important.
Author August Moon also visited Dickens, bringing his books to life during after-school tutoring program Dickens Reads.
I feel good.
He gave each student a book to keep, which was great timing. COVID shut down Dickens Reads just before the break, leaving volunteers to hustle together books for the kids to take home over the holiday.
So on behalf of all of us at Channel 3, we wish you guys the merriest Christmas possible.
And 3 News couldn't resist playing Santa. Our team of elves, led by Jay Crawford, dropped off a huge haul of gifts, hoping to make the season bright for a couple of Dickens families having an especially rough year.
It means a lot to me. We get to have fun. We get to receive things. I really want nothing for Christmas, but this is a blessing.
But before all the gift giving and good feelings, a shooting near Dickens on December 2nd rattled the kids playing outside and canceled our reading tutoring for the day. No students were hurt, but it was a sobering reminder of the very adult problems these children face, even during the most wonderful time of the year. Yeah, well, 3 News is a proud sponsor of Dickens Reads, and we will continue to track the reading progress of Dickens students all school year. However, given CMSD's announcement about going remote after winter break, we will have to suspend our Dickens Reads program for now. But of course, we're going to keep you updated on 3 News and of course on WKYC.com. When that comes back up, we will definitely need more volunteers, guys.
Oh yeah, that program will come back, and like you said, January, so many helping hands are needed, and it's a great way to help out the community.
Absolutely.
And it's lovely to see so many happy children.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. January, thank you so much. Coming up, a homemade thrill ride gets reassembled from its past. We'll show you the sweet gesture when local grandpa took this Christmas for his kids to have a tradition live on.
Then on What Matters Most at 6, a local nonprofit robbed of winter clothes to pass out to the homeless. How you can help the Akron Snow Angels. And time now for our pop quiz question. Listen up. With 2022 only days away now, we are asking, when did the New Year's Eve ball drop first happen in Times Square? A, 1907, B, 1922, or C, 1945? The answer when we return. All right, before the break, we asked you in our pop quiz, when did the New Year's Eve ball first drop in Times Square? And the answer is A, 1907. Long-standing tradition there. All right, well, time now for our Show Us Something Good. These are pictures of Northeast Ohio's Steve Bauman's grandchild on a homemade Ferris wheel. This is so cool. Okay, but the even cooler part, Steve built this back in 1994 on Christmas to have his kids enjoy in their living room. The Ferris wheel was used at birthday parties down the road, but since they outgrew it, he dismembered it and stored it in the attic.
So this year, he reassembled it and introduced it to his grandchildren this Christmas. How sweet is that? We want to say, Steve, thank you so much for sharing. These are the stories that we love to tell, and he's from the area. I love it.
Yeah, maybe we can fit in that, Laura.
Maybe. Steve, can you invite us over too? We're asking a lot of people to reach out to us today.
Yeah, we are. Alrighty. Well, thank you so much for watching What's New.
What Matters Most starts right now.
Tough talk.
Sadly, today we have the highest hospitalization count people with COVID during this pandemic.
Governor DeWine reveals some startling details about just how fast COVID-19 is spreading here in Ohio and how much stress it's putting on our hospitals. Learning from home.
CMSD will be implementing our remote learning plan for all district schools for the week of January 3rd.
One of the largest school districts in the area makes a decision now about remote learning in the wake of rising COVID case numbers. Celebration changes.
So the fact that we were able to switch over to a virtual format last year and we still had such a great response from it was exciting.
The pandemic has once again made local businesses think out of the box when it comes to New Year's Eve parties. And help for the Angels, a local charity trying to recover after thieves put a damper on their holiday plans for the needy.
From the WKYC studios, this is What Matters Most.
Good evening, and thanks for being with us tonight. I'm Laura Caso. Tonight, some harsh reality about the COVID-19 pandemic right here in Ohio.
So today we have more Ohioans with COVID in the hospitals throughout the state than we've had at any other time during this pandemic.
Governor DeWine not mincing words as we look at a new daily case record here in Ohio. Today, that number is 20,320. That is the highest case number ever since the